Happy Friday, everybody. Got a little rain out there here. Not a horrible thing, I guess. We always need it. But it's nice and warm in this Pilates studio, and I hope it is wherever you are so that we can go ahead and get ourselves moving. We've got 45 minutes of class. Grab a cushion if you think you might need it for when we're on hands and knees, just for a little extra padding. Let's respect our bodies and our particular journey at this particular moment in time. Every day's a little bit different, and let's go ahead and get ourselves moving. We'll make our way up to that mat. Cushion or towel or pillow goes off to the side, and let's start with our feet wide. We'll spread them apart, a little bit wider apart than our shoulders. Heels turn toward each other, toes point toward the front bottoms corners of the room. We're gonna shake out our arms, roll out our shoulders a little bit. Give them a nice big roll up to the ears, back and toward each other and down to the waistline. And then let's look up to the ceiling and down toward our breastbones. Pay special attention to where your weight tends to settle as we look up and look down and kind of change that visual input we have in our balance system. Let's look forward toward our screen and we'll turn. We can look to one side wall and then to the other. And let's turn our head one more time each direction, over one shoulder and over the other. We'll face forward and tip that head from side to side. Ear to one shoulder and ear to the other shoulder. Let's bring our head up nice and tall. Bend the knees just a touch. We're sending our tailbone down, the ground of the head up to the ceiling, and let's draw belly and spine gently toward each other so we feel that activity through our midsection. Drop the fingertips down by the sides, and let's shrug and release our shoulders, keeping that core active now. To the ears, to the waist. One more time to the ears. One more time to the waist, and let's reach our arms out to T, up and overhead, and turn the palms to face each other. Our elbows will be nice and straight, and we're going to drop our shoulder blades down the back side of the body. Feel a little activity through those underarm muscles, right to the outsides of the shoulder blades. Let's tip that upper body side to side, again, keeping core activity. The crown of the head is reaching up and over toward our side walls, right at the top of them. Breathe up to the ceiling, exhale and side bend. Breathe up to the ceiling and exhale, side bend. Bring that body up tall. We'll face our palms to the screen and let's bend our elbows to 90 degrees. Letting those elbows come to rest right in line with our shoulders. We can bring the elbows forward a little bit so we can see them in our peripheral vision if you'd like. And let's rotate our forearms forward and right back to the ceiling. Give those shoulders a chance to spin in their sockets a little bit, get some movement. And let's sweep those elbows right down by our sides, keeping those arms reaching outward, fingertips reaching to our side walls. Then we'll rotate our arms again. Palms to the body, palms away. Again, rolling through those shoulder joints just a bit. All right, stretching those arms out to T again. Our hands are forward. We should be able to see our thumbs wiggling in our peripheral vision. Keep that core active and let's turn our upper body from side to side. Head, neck, and moving together. And that pelvis stays nice and still as we rotate our trunk on it. Turn to one side, breathe back to the center. Turn to the other side and breathe back to the center. Let's take our arms down by our sides. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as if we're cracking a walnut between them. Hold 3, 2, and 1. Bend the elbows again. They stay tucked in by the sides. Squeeze those blades together. Feel that chest open up. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Elbows come to shoulder level and elbows come down by our sides. We're going to repeat that one 3 more times. Open up the chest. Let that mid back come together. Feel the stretch right from the collarbones all the way to the top of the shoulders. Squeeze those elbows by the sides. One more time, back up to goalposts. Last time, squeeze the elbows to the waistline. We'll bring our arms down by our sides. Shake that upper body out again. And let's narrow up our base of support. Heels are lined up with our sit bones, so feet are several inches away from each other. We've moved our weight from where it was, which was slightly back toward our heels, to just over the front of our ankle joints now. Fingertips and thumbs come right to our waistline, and as we press them together, draw the belly and spine toward each other and feel the muscles engage underneath your fingertips. Lift your toes up and feel those arches go along for the ride, lifting up. Spread the toes apart and then take them down to the floor one at a time. Pinky first, rolling through till that big toe presses down. Lift and spread and tap those toes down. Look at your feet if you're having a hard time seeing what's going on or separating the toes from each other. One final time, lift those toes up, spread them apart, tap them down, and as that big toe presses into the floor, we shift forward toward the toes, and then we press backward toward our heels. See if you can move within a range where the whole foot can stay on the mat, but that if we went any farther forward or any farther back, our heels would lift up and then our toes would lift up. Shift forward and shift back, and let's make circles around that base. The body moves as one unit from the ankles to the knees, to the hips, to the shoulders, to the head. And we feel our muscles kick in a little bit differently underneath our fingertips, depending on where we are in that range. Pause wherever you are, and then we'll circle in the other way. Keep that going. The crown of the head stays reaching up toward the ceiling, and it traces a circle for us. Let's pause with our weight over the balls of the feet. Shifting forward, we unweight our heels now. If it's maybe a millimeter off the floor, that's okay. We're pressing our toes, the whole ball of the foot firmly into the mat. We feel our soles of our feet activating, and then let's work those muscles a little bit. Heels come up and down for 4, weight stays forward, 3, there's 2, and here's a 1. Lower the heels, shift back over the foot, and we step those feet again away from each other, shoulder width apart. The toes face forward and the feet are parallel to each other. Let's take the pinky side of our hands to the fold in the front of the hips. Tip that tailbone back, fold the pelvis over the hands as we take the crown of the head forward. As we tip forward, we're gonna find a spot where we first start to feel that length from our sit bones all the way to the backs of the knees. We're gonna hold that there, bend the knees a bit, and squeeze your glutes. We'll feel the outer hips engage. Shift the weight side to side by pressing the floor away with your feet. Feel your hips working on the outsides as we load one side and the other. Coming right back to center, we'll reach the fingertips down and let's row, tucking the elbows in by the sides and squeezing the blades together. Squeeze 3, row 2, row 1, and press the elbows straight, reaching the hands back behind the body. And press, arms come out to T, bring the arms down and give them a couple of circles each direction on the floor. Coming back to center, shake those shoulders out, and let's bring ourselves up nice and tall. As we get ready to make our way to the mat, now's the time you want to grab that cushion, place it right in the center of the mat, and we'll turn toward it. Let's back up just a touch so we have about a shin's length, maybe a little bit longer distance between your toes and that cushion. We'll sweep the arms overhead as we breathe in, and we exhale, arms out to the sides. As we bend our knees, we hinge forward from our hips, taking the tailbone toward the wall behind us, the crown of the head forward. We pause with our trunk as close to parallel to the floor as we can get them. And then we sweep our hands to the floor, bending the knees to allow the hands to contact our mat. Let's walk our hands forward. We're going to come right to a little bear plank or crouched position here. Knees and hips rather, wrists and shoulders are lined up. And then we lower our knees to that cushion with control, backing ourselves up as needed. The toes are pressing firmly into the floor. And as we press our big toe and our pinky into the mat, we're going to feel a little calf stretch, maybe a little stretch to the soles of the feet. Let's draw belly and spine toward each other and rock the bottom back to the heels before pulling our shoulders back over our wrists. Press back, pull forward, press back, pull forward and hold, belly to the ceiling. We curl the cat into cow with the tailbone to the ceiling. Curl the cat, belly to the ceiling. Curl the cow, tail to the ceiling. Curl the cat. And to cow, we come right back to neutral and wag our tail from side to side. Tip the hips toward the screen and away while keeping the rest of the body still as we can. Let's take it right back to center. Turn the tops of the feet to the floor. Shake those knees out. And then tap the toes just to the outer border of the mat. A little bit of inward rotation through those hips. Take them back to center, crossing one ankle over the other. Tap to the outside, cross the opposite ankle over. Tap and cross and tap and cross. One more time each. Tap and cross. We'll take those shins back down parallel to the mat. Hold it here and squeeze your blades together. Allow that breastbone to drop toward the floor. Press the breastbone away from the floor, wrapping the shoulder blades around the front of the body. Squeeze and press. That trunk goes down and up without the pelvis moving. Squeeze and press. Let's take our toes together, walk those knees toward the outsides of our mat, and we press our bottom back down toward our heels. Drop to the forearm and hold. Slide the hands out toward the head of the mat. And let's inch those fingertips a little bit farther forward as we allow our forehead to draw down toward the floor. Let's take a big breath here. And we'll breathe it out. One more time, big breath in. Exhale. Drop to the forearms. We'll look to our hands, shift the weight over those arms. Take the cushion out from under your knees if it's still been there, and let's lengthen our legs back behind the body, opening up through those thighs. Press into the arms, and we're going to feel our breastbone lift up just a touch. Lift it so it reaches toward the front of that wall. Keeping the chin nodded toward the neck, we reset belly to spine, and press those thighs slightly further off the floor, so we're resting just above our knees now. Shift the weight toward the screen and away. Feel those shoulder blade muscles work as we press the floor away with our forearms. Come on back to center, squeeze the blades together, breastbone comes down. Press them toward the floor, breastbone lifts. Squeeze and press, little mini shoulder blade push-ups. Squeeze and press, and one more time, squeeze together. Press them apart. Let's turn toward our screen, rest on our forearm, and line up our hip, our elbow, and our heels. So we're making as close to a straight line as we can from the foot all the way up toward the trunk. We're going to press that supporting arm into the floor, and let's take our other hand to our waistline where we lift up. We should maybe get a little stretch through that underside of the waistline. We should feel our shoulder blade engaging and working to keep that shoulder away from our ear. Let's take our top hand down by our sides. If you start to roll back, you're welcome to take your top foot and rest it forward toward the front of the mat. Keeping that waist lift, we're going to take our top arm overhead, arc it toward the wall closest to the crown of the head. Take it down by the side. Arc it over, arc it back. We're going to feel our upper arm working on the stationary side. Overhead, back to the trunk. Overhead, we pause with the fingertips toward the ceiling, and let's take that hand forward and down. And reach it up, forward and down. Reach it up, two more, forward and down. Reach it up, and last time, forward and down. Reach the arm up. We bend our knees, and let's make our way up to standing and give that weight bearing side a couple of circles backward. Shake it out a little bit and then tip the head away from that side. Big breath in. Breathing out, we come back to center. We're going to repeat on the other side. Way to warm up that side of the body, right? Elbow and shoulder are lined up. Legs are straight. We have our hips, we have our heels, and we have our shoulder lined up. We take our top hand to the bottom of the waistline, lift up to get that stretch through the waist, but also the activity through those side muscles. We'll take our top arm, rest it down by the side of the top leg, and breathe it overhead, and take it up and down by the side. Inhale up and over, exhale to the side. Two more here, inhale up and over, exhale to the side, and last time, in and out, inhale overhead, exhale to the ceiling. Now we take those fingertips down in front. Arm comes up. Again, if you need more stability, that top leg comes forward. Arm comes down, arm comes up. Last two, arm comes down, arm comes up. One more time, fingertips to the floor, fingertips to the ceiling, and we bend our knees, pop ourselves up nice and tall, and we're going to cross those legs. Resting with the weight center just over the front of our sit bones. Knees can be out to the sides with crossed legs, or we could certainly have our feet in front of us if that feels more appropriate for you. You're going to float those arms out to the side and take a breath. Breathe out, belly to spine, picturing the ribs lifting up off the pelvis. We'll take some side bends, airplane arms, fingertips down. Inhale up tall. Side bend the other way. Inhale up tall. Exhale and side bend. Inhale up tall. One more time. Exhale, side bend. Inhale up tall. Let's take our arms down to the mat. Shrug and release those shoulders. We'll make our way back down onto our side. And then let's turn on our back with our knees bent and our heels lined up with our sit bones. The arms are down by our sides as we picture that clock face on our pelvis. We'll take our pubic bone, shorten it toward the breastbone, flattening the low back, 12 o'clock. Pubic bone lengthens toward the heels, letting that low back arch a touch just as much as you're comfortable with, 6 o'clock. Roll it to 6, or to 12 rather. Roll it to 6. Roll it to 12. Roll it to 6. One more time, roll it to 12. One more time, roll it to 6, and we'll take that pelvis back to neutral. Big breath in. Breathe out, belly to spine. With the fingertips on the points at each side of the pelvis, we're going to rock the side closest to the screen down toward the mat as the opposite side lifts. There's 3 o'clock. Roll it through neutral. Rock it to 9. Screen side hip lifts as the opposite side presses down. Bring it back to neutral. Roll it to 3. Bring it back to neutral and roll it to 9. Taking that pelvis right back to the center. We take a big breath in. Exhale, belly to spine, float the arms to the ceiling. Let's come up onto our tiptoes and we'll bring one knee to 90 degrees and the other one to meet at a tabletop. Let's reach our shoulder blades up to the ceiling and down to the mat. Reach them up, take them down, move through a range as you keep reaching, where we can keep that head and neck nice and still and that chin nice and level. Lift and lower the blades. Lift and lower the blades. Let's tap the foot on the screen side, down to the mat, toes touch. Inhale back to tabletop, exhale, switch, dip the other toes down as if we're dipping them in a cold pool. Inhale up, exhale, lower and tap those toes. Inhale and lift, exhale, lower and tap. Breathe those knees back to tabletop. We'll pull the far one into the chest, give it a little hug, and we press that opposite leg forward, lengthening it down to a hovered position. Reset or maintain belly to spine, switch the legs and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Last 4. And 3. Here's 2. Last one, the leg closest to the screen draws into the body, and we take our other one all the way down to the mat. Release the front of that hip on the folded side, and let's take our knee out toward the screen and toward the far wall. Stir that hip a bit in its socket. Come on back to center, keeping that knee drawn in. Roll our shoulders back and down and reset belly to spine. Hover your supporting leg up off the floor. Keep it there, stretching the toes to the wall in front of them. And let's circle that leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other direction, circle 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that, keep the knee straight, and we take our bent knee and cross the body, lengthening into the side of that hip. The other hand pressed into the floor. Big breath in, and exhale back to center. Let's switch sides. Pull the press that opposite leg out straight. We're going to hold our hovered position as we roll our shoulders back and down. Reset belly to spine, circle the hovered leg on the wall in front. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle the other way. There's 4. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Lower that foot. Take the bent knee across the body, giving it a wiggle. Big breath in. Exhale to center. Hang on behind the lifted thigh. Stretch those toes to the ceiling, and then bend that knee back up. Straighten and bend. Feel your hamstring lengthen out. Straighten that leg. Find the first point of resistance and hold right there. Flex and point those toes. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep those toes pointed. Keep that core engaged. Lifted leg stays still as we bring our arms down to our sides. We're going to hold this here. Widen the collarbones away from center and press the hands into the floor. Take that lifted leg side to side, out toward the far wall, up and over toward that screen. As usual, we can bend that knee if we need a little more slack. Straighten it out a little further if we need a little bit more range to go through to challenge that trunk. Side to side. And one more time out toward that wall. And over toward the screen. Circle the ceiling for 4. For 3, 2. Breathe in at the top and then breathing out, we take it the other direction. Circle 4, 3. What if we take those arms to the ceiling for the final 2? And 1. Give that knee a hug. Big breath in. Breathe it out. Reset that trunk as we pull our other knee in. Lengthen the leg we just stretched out along the mat, and we're going to hold on behind our lifted thigh. Let's go ahead and stretch those toes to the ceiling. Bend the knee back up again. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. We'll straighten and hold. Flex and point for 4. For 3. For 2. And 1. Hold that lifted leg where it is. Reset belly to spine. Take the hands to the mat and bring that lifted leg from side to side. Open those collarbones, take them away from center. If it's easier to keep that chest open by turning your palms to face the ceiling, go for it. Last 2, side to side. And one more time, out toward the screen. Up and over, and let's circle the ceiling for 4, 3, 2. Inhale at the top, and then breathing out, we take it the other direction. There's 4, 3, 2. And 1. Take that knee, hug it into the body. Draw it in with the arms. And let's take our other knee in to meet it. Bring the knees apart, keep the big toes together, grab onto your shins or as close as you can get to the shins. And we're gonna bend our elbows gently, leveraging with those arms to see if we can get a little stretch through our inner thighs. Let's give that side rock, that back open up and mellow into the floor. We'll come back to center, breathing in, exhale, belly to spine. Press those toes together, float the arms to the ceiling. We're in our frog. Lift the toes up slightly, flex the feet, click the heels together. Touch the toes, touch the heels. Touch the toes, knees stay still. Touch the toes, touch the heels. One more time, touch the toes, touch the heels, stay in frog, resetting belly to spine, and we press forward for 4. Inhale to frog. Press 3, bring it to frog. Last 2, and to frog. Last 1, press forward, turn the legs parallel to each other and scoop those feet up toward the ceiling. Point the toes and we breathe our feet out to the side walls for V. We inhale those feet together. Exhale, press. Inhale, feet together. Exhale, press. Inhale, feet together, open to half V, halfway there. And we circle the leg farthest from the screen. It's gonna arc toward our hands as the opposite leg arcs toward the far wall. Circle them the other way, little semicircle, switching positions. Switch those legs, arc it the other way. One more each, switch and switch. Let's bring both feet to the ceiling, bend the knees to tabletop, flex the butt, and grab onto those kneecaps with your hands. Give the body a little side to side rock. Take a big breath in, breathe that out back. Just come to ceiling, we glue those knees together, glue those feet together, point the toes, and rock the knees toward the screen and toward the far wall. Toward the screen, toward the far wall. Let's move those hips in circles, stretching the toes forward. Knees bend and come to the screen. Knees stay bent as we sweep them to the far wall. And we open the hips toward the ceiling as our feet come forward. Let's roll circles the other way. Knees toward the body, toward the screen. Open them toward the wall in front, sweep them around to the far wall. One more time, roll those knees toward the screen. Press them forward to the wall in front. Take them out to the side and right back to tabletop. Heels come down to the floor, arms arc forward to the floor. Let's curl through 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And one more time, curl to 12, curl to 6. Come on back to neutral, rock those pelvic muscles from side to side, far hip lifts, and then the near hip lifts. Rock that pelvis to 3, and rock to 9. Come on back to center, big breath in, belly to spine, squeeze, and we lift up to bridge. Let's breathe back down, heels toward the, or bottom toward the heels rather. Tap at the bottom, squeeze and lift. Float them down, squeeze and lift. One more time, float them down. Squeeze and lift, hold at the top of your motion, pressing the arms down. Lift and lower those feet. Heels come up and down only, up on the balls of the feet. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Last 4. Lift 3, 2, and 1. Feet come down, big breath in, and exhale, lower that body to the mat. Releasing the glutes at the bottom, we'll take those knees from side to side. Big breath into one, big breath out to the other, and we come right back to center. Reset belly to spine. Squeeze those glutes and let's press those hips up to the ceiling again. We hold them there this time. Hips stay lifted. We take one knee at a time out to each side. There's 8. Switch 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breathing in. Exhale. Hips come down. Release at the bottom. Give those knees a side to side rock. One more breath to one side. One more breath to the other. Take it back to center, breathing in. Exhale, belly to spine. Squeeze and lift those hips up. We're going to hold that bridge at the top and we move to our march. Belly stays engaged. We press through the one foot as we lift the other knee. Lower and press, lift the other knee. Lower and switch. Lower and switch. Last 4. Lift. Down 3. Lift. 2. And lift. And 1. Lift up. Press that foot into the mat. Squeeze and lift those hips one final time. Breathing out, we lengthen down. Release at the bottom. Rock that lower body from side to side, allowing your hip to come up on the side we're moving away from. Let's come back to center. Cross the far ankle over that knee closest to the screen. And again, we rock away from and toward that crossed over leg. Come back to center. We're going to rock again. Foot on, or we lift that other foot off the mat for a little more stretch if we need it. We'll rock away from and toward that side. Come on back to center. Feet come to the mat. Switch it up ankle to knee. Rock away from the screen and rock toward it. Coming back to center. Lift up if you can. And we rock away from our screen toward the screen. One more time, away and toward. Come back to center, unwind, give the knees a hug, and we take our feet to the floor. Okay, grab that cushion again if you'd like to use it. Let's turn ourselves to hands and knees. Wrists and shoulders, knees and hips are lined up with each other. Keep that core engaged, belly to spine, curl to cat, through to cow, and repeat one more time, curl to cat, through to cow. Come on back to center, wag your tail toward and away from the screen. Forward and away from the screen. Come on back to center, and let's tap one hand to the opposite shoulder. Bring it back down, switch sides. Hand down and tap, hand down and tap. Repeat again to challenge it a little bit more. Take those arms out with the fingertips at the outer edges of the mat. Tap two and tap one. Hands come right down underneath the shoulders. Hold them there. Belly to spine. Slide the leg closest to the screen back. Hold it. Squeeze your glute. Lift that leg up and down. 4. Keep that trunk still as you can. 2 and 1. Holding here. We'll take our opposite arm forward. Tap the fingertips down. Lift up. Tap down and lift. 2 more. Lift. Last one. Lift and hold. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down. Sweep that knee right back next to the other. Curl the cat. And take it to cow before coming right back to neutral. Slide the other foot back. Leg is straight. Squeeze the glute. Lengthen up and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the leg up there. Opposite arm comes forward. Tap the fingertips down and lift. Tap and lift. 2 more. Lift. Lift and hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down. Knee comes down. Wag your tail side to side. Come on back to center. We're going to slide that leg closest to the screen back again. Now we arc it toward the screen. Press the foot into the mat. Lengthen out through your inner thigh as you lower the straight inner thigh toward the mat. Feel it. Lengthen out. Add a little hamstring component. Rock the bottom back to the heels. Come right back over the wrists. One more time. Rock back. Rock forward. Hold that there. We're going to come down to our forearms and right back up to our hands. Again, down to the forearms, right back up to the hands. One more each, down to the forearms, back up, leading with the other arm, forearm down, forearms come back up. Sweep the leg back, draw it into center, curling to cat, take it to cow. Coming back to neutral, our opposite leg slides back, we arc it to the sidewall, pressing it into the floor. Lengthen that inner thigh down. Feel that inner thigh lengthen out, and we add the hamstring component, rocking back and forth. Back and forth. Hold it up here. Forearms come down to the mat. Press right back up to the hands. Switching arms that we lead with. Forearms down. Take it back up. Forearms down. Take it back up. And last time, forearms down. Take it back up. Sweep the leg back. Draw it into center. Curl the cat and then walk your hands back to your thighs as we roll ourselves up to a tall kneeling position. We're shooting for as close to a straight line as we can get from knees to hips to shoulders. If you're a little tight through the hips, we might have a little bit of a forward position. Just do your best. Hand closest to the screen comes in front to the belly. Opposite hand, back of the hand comes to the small of the back. We take a big breath in. Exhale, belly and spine draw toward each other, pulling the hands toward each other. Let's lean the body back, find your thighs, feel your trunk activate into your hands. Inhale up nice and tall. Breathing out, lean it back. And inhale up. 2 more times, breathe out, lean it back. Inhale it up, and one more time, lean that body back. Inhale it up tall. Hands come to the waistline, hinge the bottom back and the crown of the head forward. We're gonna come down to our forearms, get rid of any cushioning you have under the knees, and resting on those forearms, we slide our thighs back. Press your hands into the mat, drop your shoulders away from the ears, and we lift that breastbone just slightly closer to the wall in front of us. Popping up on the trunk here, we hold, or popping up on the thighs rather, we hold our trunk and upper leg still as we bend our knees. Feel the bottom one at a time. We can give it a quick kick on each side, or we can keep a slow, controlled movement as we bring that heel as close to the bottom as we can get them. Repeat for 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Come on back down. Let's bring ourselves down just slightly. We're resting at our lowest ribs. We take our hands underneath the shoulders and push ourselves up, turning to face the other direction, lengthwise on our mat. We're going to take our feet to the outer edges and rest up on our sit bones. Let's hold this here. Hands can be on the sides for a little bit of support. Flex up your feet. And we're going to slide those knees. Find the stretch point and then slide the heels back to the bottom. Press out, bend the knees, press out, bend the knees, press out. Hold them there as best you can and float the arms up to shoulder height. Fingertips are lined up with the middle of each foot. And we reset belly to spine as we breathe out. Inhale again. Exhale, hinge forward, lift the ribs up and over off of that lower body. Inhale up tall, exhale, hinge forward. Inhale up tall, exhale, take it forward. Inhale up tall, hold, exhale, belly to spine. We open those arms out to the sides. Again, thumbs are slightly forward. You can see them wiggling in our peripheral vision. Big breath in, breathe out, belly to spine, turn toward the screen. Sit bones, stay still. Inhale, face forward, and exhale, turn the other way. Inhale, face forward, exhale, turn. Inhale, face forward, and exhale, turn. Face that wall in front, arms come down, we give our shoulders a roll back and down, bring those feet together. Shake the legs out, bend them up, and place the toes on the mat as well. We're gonna walk our bottom forward a little bit, slightly forward with the fingertips as the fingertips are facing forward. We're gonna take our hands to our outer thighs, just above that knee joint line. Let's go ahead and press our hands and our thighs toward each other, roll the shoulders back and down, and lean back, straightening out the elbows a bit until we start to feel the front of our trunk working. So open and close one arm at a time, toward the far wall, toward that near wall, toward that screen. Open and close, open and close. Repeat for 4 and 3, last 2 and 1. Grab the shins, pull the body up tall, roll the shoulders back and down. We'll take our hands back behind the body, fingertips point slightly outward, straighten the elbows and send your breastbone up to the ceiling. As we lean our weight back into the heels of the hands, we unweight our rear ends and we can rock that body side to side. So we bring our hips a little closer to our bottom, to our heels rather. All right, at the point where we start to feel a stretch through our upper arms, we can make a decision. We can stay here, focusing on that breastbone reaching up to the wall in front, or we can add a little lift to the hips so we move to our reverse tabletop. Hips could lift up partway. We can take them all the way up until they come as close to line up with the hips and the knees as we can get them. Wherever we are, hold it there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips come down. Turn and face the screen. Shake out your wrists. We'll come to that nice tall sitting position. Rest the hands on those knees. Big breath in. Exhale, belly to spine. Let's tip our head side to side. We're just going to get a little length through the side of the neck and the top of the shoulder. Inhale up straight and exhale side bend the other way. Inhale up tall and breathing out, we're going to lie on our sides. Knees are bent, heels are lined up at the bottom. We'll lift up that waistline and take the top hand to the hip. Let's take our top knee up and down, pressing for 4, for 3, hips stay stacked, one on top of the other. There's 2. And 1, knee comes down. Let's lift to hydrants. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to hip height. Circle that top leg. Knee stays bent. Circle 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it the other direction. Circle 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to hip height. Toes come to the mat, knee lifts. Knee comes to the opposite knee, toes lift. Rotate knee up. Rotate knee down. 2 more. Rotate knee up. Rotate knee down. Last time. Rotate knee up. Rotate that knee down. The other foot comes up to meet it. Both feet come down and up for 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Toes come down. Press the top hand into the mat. Lift the knees for 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Knees come down, straighten the legs. We're going to keep them straight as we can. Bring them up together toward the ceiling. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet come down, bend those knees. Give your hip a little pat. And let's take ourselves up through center and over to the other side. Rest on that bottom arm. Bend up your knees, lining the heels up with the sit bones, and we lift up our waistline. Top hand comes to the top hip. Stacking the hips one on top of the other. We bring our top knee up and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that knee down. Let's move to hydrants for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Back to hip height. Circle that top leg. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Circle the other direction for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Foot comes up, knee comes down. Toes come down, knee comes up. Knee down, knee up, knee down, knee up. One more time. Knee down, knee up. Take it back to center. Hold it there. Foot comes up again. Toes come up from the other side to meet it. And the toes come down and up. There's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Feet come down. Hand comes to the mat. Lift those knees for 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Take the knees down. Stretch those legs out straight. Keeping them glued together. Lift those feet up and down. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend up the knees. Pat your hip out and turn to our backs. As we rest on our backs, we let the low back melt into the mat. We walk our heels a little closer to our bottom, knees are hip width apart, and let's reach our arms to the ceiling. Wrap those blades up to the ceiling and then drop them to the mat. Again, reach them up, lower them down. One more time, reach them up, lower them down, keeping the middle back nice and still. We open our arms toward the side walls, fingertips to collarbone to fingertips in as straight a line as we can get it. And let's turn our head, look toward the screen and away. We should feel a little chest stretch as we turn our head. A little more on the side we're looking away from. Come on back to center. Reset belly to spine, curl that pelvis. 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock and repeat to 12 to 6. Come on back to neutral. Rock your knees toward the screen. Let the opposite hip come up. Rock the knees away, letting the opposite hip come up. Rock toward the screen. And rock away. And we come right back to center, sweeping the arms down by the sides. Let's cross that leg closest to the screen, over to the other ankle. Press that knee out to the side. Hold it there. And we lift. Hold that lift. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Rock away from that crossed over leg. Let's come back to center. Switch them up. Ankle to knee. Lift if you can. Add the rock. Side to side. And then back to center. We unwind. We hug those knees into the body. As we bring our knees slightly apart, we can grab for our shin. Gently press your elbows into the upper thighs to leverage into a slight stretch for those inner thighs there. And we can rock that body side to side. Big breath in. And we breathe right back to center. Slide those knees into the body again. The feet come to the floor. We turn toward our screen and then we'll make our way up to hands and knees. Once we're there, let's curl the cat. Take it through to cow and come right back to center. Again, take it to cat. Bring it to cow and come back to neutral, giving our tails a side to side rock now. Keeping the belly gently drawn toward the spine. Come on back to center, turn the toes under, bring the bottom back to the heels, and we'll walk our hands back to our legs, transferring our weight over to our feet. As usual, we'll stand up once we have our weight over the front of our ankles. Let's stand up nice and tall, give everything a little shake, and we'll come right to the center of our mat. If you want something to hold on to for a little bit of balance assist, now's a great time to find the wall, a tabletop, a chair, or something else nice and steady. We can place our fingertips on. We'll take our hands right to our waistline. Let's bring our feet together first, just straight together, toes and heels. Knees are touching if they can. And let's look up to the ceiling. And down to our breastbones. Right back to center. We're going to step one foot partway in front of the other. The heel of one is right at the midpoint of the arch of the other foot. So a slightly narrower base. Hold it there. Look up. And look down. And look straight ahead. Let's walk the other foot forward. Half tandem stance. The arch of one foot, the height of the arch is right where the other toes go. Find your balance point. And again, we can look up. And we can look down. Let's step off and back to one side. Find your way to single leg balance. Hold it there. If you want to challenge it, look up with your head or with your eyes. Forward. Let's take it to our other side. Shift. Find single leg balance. Hold it there. Look up with the eyes or with the head if you'd like. Tap your toes down if you need a little balance support. And we look forward. Let's take our feet out, shoulder width apart. Look down to the hands as we shake our wrists out, as we shake our knees out, and we'll settle our weight back toward our heels. Bend at the knees, sending the tailbone back, and we draw the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Inhale, shrug those shoulders up. Exhale, drop them down. Again, inhale, shrug. Exhale, dropping down, nodding the chin toward the neck. We turn and look over one shoulder, over the other shoulder, and right back to center. Let's repeat. Turn and look to one side. Turn and look to the other side. Come on back to center. Let's take a big breath in. Arms come up and overhead. Let's clasp our fingers and press the palms to the ceiling as we straighten our elbows out as best we can. Let's take a tall side bend and up and over to the other side. One more time, breathe up to the ceiling, exhale, side bend. Breathe up to the ceiling and exhale, side bend. Inhale back to center with those palms facing upward. We take our feet together. Unclasp the hands, reach them up. Big breath in as we look to the fingers. Press the hands together and we come into center. Great work. As usual, have a wonderful weekend and we'll do it again next time. Take care, everybody.